I want to share 5 tips with you when you're working with patterns. Hi, I'm Kim Jamieson-Hirst of Chatterbox Quilts, and there are some things that you should do before you jump into a project, and I want to share those with you today. So tip number 1 is to get your pattern out and read all the way through it so you understand what you're going to be doing to make that project. Tip number 2, gather all your materials together before you start the project. It's like making a recipe, right? Nothing worse than getting partway through and realizing you're missing that critical ingredient. So gather all your ingredients together before you start to make your project. Tip number 3 is to always check for any mistakes that might be in the pattern. So you can go to the pattern publisher's website or the designer's website and check and see. They usually have a errata page or errors or maybe mistakes, and just make sure that there isn't anything incorrect in that pattern before you start getting into it, because you don't want to cut up something in the wrong size and maybe use up the only piece of fabric you have that's going to work for that part of the project. So check out their website, make sure that there are no errors in that pattern. If there are, make sure that you correct them in the pattern before you start construction. Tip number 4 has to do with the fabrics that you pick for your pattern. So in some patterns, it's really important to have contrast between certain fabrics, and you may not be quite sure if you've got that or not. So a good way to check for this is to take a picture of your fabrics, your chosen fabrics for now anyway, with a grayscale photo. You can then really easily see if there is sufficient contrast between the fabrics, and if there isn't, you can pick another fabric so you make sure that your fabric is going to have just the perfect look when it's done. Tip number 5 has to do with working through the pattern. I always like to check off my steps as I go in the pattern. Some pattern manufacturers or designers, like Biani.com for example, actually have check boxes, and it's really helpful to check off each step as you go along. Sometimes I like to make a copy of the pattern if it's a physical paper pattern that I have, and then I can actually mark it up, and I add other information on there too as I go through. So if I want to make that pattern again next time, I know exactly what to do in each of the areas, especially if there was an area that I found difficult. It's a good idea to write in there in your own thoughts, your own language, so you'll understand it easier the next time. I hope you found these tips helpful and will use them next time you start a new project. And for more helpful quilting information, be sure to go to my website at www.chatterboxquilts.com.